Hello, welcome to another edition of Johnny Stocks 212. Other people trying to sell you something. I'm just here to find those A winners, go-getters, trend-setting companies to invest in. Thank you for joining me wherever you may be. We got a great show for you today. So today we're talking about an exciting company called Cybin. Please read the disclaimer on your own time. So Cybin is a company, a biopharmaceutical company that's focusing on progressive psychedelic therapeutics. So I've had a few people ask me to do it on this video, and there was a reason why I did mindset first. But this is definitely a space that I think there's going to be hopefully a big breakthrough of therapeutics for patients with depression, PTSD. So I really feel like it's an important company to follow. So let's look at the leadership team. Eric So, co-founder, CEO. Doug Drysdale, CEO. I've heard these guys in a bunch of interviews. Definitely sounds fantastic. I've heard people sometimes criticize, why are some of these companies have executives that are not in healthcare? Well, listen, there's a reason why, Eric So, fantastic. I've listened to a bunch of interviews. He maybe has been in the healthcare space. That I feel like that's not necessarily true, but also the guy has he's been a veteran, founder, investor, operator of different disruptive companies, and I understand when people try to criticize and say, some of these healthcare companies, why don't they have, I would like to find companies with, healthcare companies that have people in the science field. Well, listen, this company does, okay? Alex Nivowitz, Chief Scientific Officer, the Chief Medical Officer. Like, they have people in high positions in the healthcare field. Eric So, outstanding leadership. Listen, you want people on your team that can raise capital. I mean, he's raised hundreds of millions of dollars, creating value creation, exit strategies, liquidity events for investors and shareholders. So that's what you want, especially in these times where, inflation is up, interest rates are high. Some of these companies need to raise capital, and you want leaders that have the experience, that have done that, can handle that, and go ahead and do that. Drysdale also has a big healthcare background. He turned around Norwich Pharmaceuticals. Okay, that's a big deal. Norwich Pharmaceuticals, if you're not familiar, that company was going sideways and down, and Doug Drysdale took over there and turned that thing around. So I sometimes have a lot of respect for CEOs that can turn companies around when they're heading the wrong way. So I'm definitely impressed by the leadership team here. Now, one reason I did the video on mindset first is, I do think psychedelics is a big space. This is one of these spaces where patients and investors are not really paying enough attention to. I do think there's going to be a breakthrough. One of these companies are going to be able to get a drug that's going to be approved, that's going to be safe and effective, and there are going to be some winners. Not just for the patients, but for investors. Mindset, if you didn't know, Cybin, this company Cybin, paid they did a milestone payment, or at least did an agreement for and as well as additional clinical development milestone payments to Mindset. So Cybin made basically initial licensing fee payment and had an agreement with Mindset to basically be able to use some of their novel medications. And the milestone payment can total up to, I think, almost close to $10 million. Okay, $500,000 initially, and it depends. I think it's payable upon completion of a clinical 1 trial, and there's some different. They can do it through share, I believe, or capital. I have to check the latest information on that, but there's definitely a few different stipulations in there. And if they're successful in completing those milestones, including the first drug candidate. So, and I want to say there's royalties of up to 2%. So one of the reasons why I got it, that's one of the reasons that I got excited about Mindset. But Cybin they have a deuterated psilocybin analog, CYB003. And that has a potential to be used for effective treatment for major depressive disorders, alcohol use disorders, potentially reduce side effects, with other psychedelic-based therapy. So that's pretty exciting. Some people have asked me, why they call it deuterated? What's the reason for deuterated? So basically, when a medication's deuterated, they're removing, it's a small molecule drug, they're removing the hydrogen atoms, some part of the hydrogen atoms, and they'll add or replace one of the hydrogen atoms with a heavy, stable, more than one deuterium. So they're replacing one of some of the hydrogen atoms. Okay. Now, hopefully, this makes it less, variability with plasma levels, a better onset of action. That means how quickly is the medication going to work, shorter duration effect. It maybe even be potentially better tolerated. So that's some really exciting stuff. That's a few of the reasons why I'm really interested in this company. Let's look at the pipeline. Yeah, so here we are, the CYB003. I talked about it, the deuterated psilocybin analog, major depressive disorders, alcohol use disorders. Remember, these are still in clinical trials. I mean, not in clinical trials, preclinical trials. So no, they haven't tested it out in patients yet, but sometime Q4 2022, they should be reporting sometime the preclinical data expected for CYB1005, the safety and PK data readout. So, safety is big, important. PK is pharmacokinetics. How does the drug respond? How is it absorbed? How is it metabolized? How is it distributed? All that stuff is really important. They're going to be reporting that. So I'm going to continue to monitor this company. Let's take a look at the stock price. Stock symbol CYB. CYBN. CYBN is the stock symbol. Time of the video, trading at 48 cents. I think this is a great opportunity, a good company, a lot of opportunity here. They got a compelling pipeline. I do think no one's paying attention to this psychedelic market, and there's going to be some potential opportunities here. Mindset's another company. Cybin's another one. I'm going to continue to look for these companies where I think there's a heavy risk, but a lot of potential upside. So I like their pipeline. They have a lot of data that they're going to be reporting. Let's see what they do when they get into phase 1 trials, if they can move it along. That's all the time I have for this video. If you did enjoy this video and content I'm creating, please make sure you hit the subscribe button because it's completely free to subscribe. It helps the channel grow. I'll continue to monitor this company. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.